Man Lewis, Howling Mood Podcast coming at you. This course, episode number 10, we're talking that second part of my Wrestlemania 35 review. So after the induction or the introduction of the Hall of Fame inductees class of 2019, we get the Miz versus Shane Falls Count Anywhere. This match to me probably was arguably was the best match on the card, the best match on the show. We have both Shane and the Miz going at. Shane beat the Miz down and really took his. And then Miz's dad comes in and starts, and Shane starts on him and stuff like that. And then they make their way to the crowd, and they ended up climbing the scaffolding, whatever, where the camera guy was, and Miz ended up suplexing Shane. And then, of course, you got Shane, who absolutely landed on the Miz and caused the referee to count three and give Shane the victory. For what it was, this match was amazing. I think the match itself told the story of how the Miz was trying to beat Shane, but Shane proved that he is the best in the world. And to me, Shane proved a lot of things here. But the most things that stand out to me is Shane proved, number one, as always, that he will do whatever it takes to entertain. He will do anything to sacrifice his body to make things look absolutely amazing and look really, really, really good at doing it. Also, I think Shane here deserved this WrestleMania win. Last couple WrestleManias and last couple pay-per-views that Shane's been a part of, he's not really gone over, and he's not really had the opportunity to actually get a victory. So I think that this victory for Shane was well-deserved. Regardless of anybody else's opinion, I think that Shane deserved to get this. I think that the feud between Shane and The Miz is not over. To me, one of the best feuds that Shane had was with Kane back in, I believe it was the Attitude or Ruthless Aggression era. I think him and Kane, rather, with their feud they had, I think that's one of the best feuds Shane has had in his entire career as an in-ring performer. But like I said, that match was good, and I don't think we've seen the last of The Miz and Shane. I think we'll see that carry over into Money in the Bank, perhaps, or maybe SmackDown this coming Tuesday, April the 9th. With that being said, I do think the match, like I said, was really good. I thought it was probably the best of the night. By the way, they had all the pops and all the things that they actually done, as far as the death-defying Daredevil acts and whatnot. So we move on to the Women's Tag Team Championships. We got the champions Bayley and Sasha defending against Nia and Tamina, the Iconics, Beth and Natalya. I thought the whole throwback of Beth and Natalya coming out in the pink and black as a tribute to the Hart Foundation. Brett coming out with them there to, at the end there to wish them luck and whatnot. I actually thought that right there was an absolute amazing throwback and a good way to honor Natalya's father and honor, Jim the Anvil and honor the Hart Foundation. I thought that was really good. Beth Phoenix, she can still go. There's no doubt about it. Beth is an absolute tank in there. She's proven that she still has it. Being gone in WWE for as long as she has, she still has that. She still has that in-ring savvy. That's that actual in-ring. She don't have much in-ring ring rust. She actually can still go, and she proved that in how the build-up to this Fatal 4, the build-up to the actual match itself. She's proven that to me that she can still go. Nia and Tamina, of course, they got a few pops, that they did, but they also got taken out, which I think was a good way to do that. But in the end, we get the actual swerve, which I didn't see this coming. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics, are the new Women's Tag Team Champions, and I think Beth coming off the top rope with the glam slam, uh, and was it Beth came off the top rope with the glam slam? I think it was Beth came off the top rope with the glam slam, and I think that they got the pin on Bailey, I do believe. But anyway, Iconic slipping in there at the end. Some would say that right there was bad because they really didn't do anything in the entire match. But to me, that's the way to swerve us. That's the way to take advantage of the opportunity and allow the opportunity to strike at any moment. Get that WrestleMania moment, so to speak. And I thought that the Iconics getting those championships was well deserved. I thought that it finally showed to me that WWE took them seriously instead of taking them as a joke, coming out and having them get like in the Battle Royal, the Women's Battle Royal that they had for was it Evolution? I think it was Evolution. They had a Women's Battle Royal. They had a Women's Battle Royal. Whatever they had, the Iconics were always the ones eliminated first. They were always the one picked on and ridiculed and treated like they were crap. The Iconics are a great tag team. A great, together they are great, and I think that this was a good way to give them that WrestleMania moment, and it was a good pop, and it was a good swerve. I kind of like that because I actually thought that we were either going to get Natalya and Tamina, unfortunately, or we were going to get Beth and Natalya, or Sasha and Bayley was going to retain because I had no idea that the Iconics, going into the match and the match coming in, I knew that, I thought that the Iconics themselves would not win this match because of all the way that WWE had treated them up until the point. So that match there was good. I thought the Iconics had the opportunity. I think they should hold on for a bit, but I do have a feeling that either this coming Tuesday, April the 10th on SmackDown, or April the 9th. I'm sorry, April the 9th on SmackDown. I think that they possibly get a rematch between Bayley and Sasha, or Beth and Natalya. Something's going to happen, and they'll probably lose it. But I think that they at least deserve to hold those titles until at least Money in the Bank or the pay-per-view after that. So then we go on to the next match, which is Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. I thought that the match itself was really good. A lot of great pops there. Kofi, of course, went in with the Trouble in Paradise. I thought that the way that the New Day and Kofi they took out Eric Rowan, I thought that was that was great. That got a huge pop. I thought it was a good match overall. I thought that Kofi went in there with guns a-blazing and came out with a well-deserved victory. I think that both men did an excellent job, although as much as I don't like the whole new Daniel Bryan gimmick and stuff like that, Daniel Bryan done what he had to do to put Kofi over, and I really think that the match itself was absolutely amazing, and to have Kofi in there with that very, very emotional moment with his boys and with Xavier and Big E coming in there and kind of helping him celebrate. I thought that was good. I really liked the T-shirts that they had that they had made for Kofi, and I thought that, like I said, the match itself was really good, and it's a well-deserved victory for Kofi Kingston. 11 years of grinding and 11 years of great Royal Rumble moments to keep himself in the match, and just actually great tag team matches with the New Day, and great tag team matches that he put on with R-Truth, and just all this. I think Kofi and R-Truth, and and him and Evan Bourne back in the day. I just think Kofi Kingston, long overdue, finally got that opportunity and seized the moment and getting his WrestleMania moment and making us happy as the fans, because the build up to that was really good. Vince McMahon, as much as we hated it, really did what he had to do to push Kofi to go that extra mile, to come from that B-plus player to the A-plus player by actually winning the match. So I hope that Kofi has a pretty long title reign. I actually hope that his title reign is a little more better, or a little more lengthy, perhaps maybe till SummerSlam. That would be nice, but I don't see him getting that long of a title reign, but let's hope so. So SummerSlam in August. So we go for the next match. We got the U.S. Championship. It's Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. And I honestly think that this match here, I know that Rey was hurt with these ankles and whatnot, but I think that Rey, this match here was, I don't know, I just found this match to be a little, as quick as it was to make Joe look like a monster heel and Rey to just, go out without risking any possible injury. I thought this match was what it was, and it was okay for me. I really didn't. Either way, the match could have gone either way, and it was just a match that I thought, okay. But for what it was okay. But in closing to the U.S. Championship match, I will say that if Rey Mysterio is legitimately having ankle problems or whatever kind of problems that he's having, it's time for Rey Mysterio to probably end his in-ring career, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rey Mysterio's done a lot. He does a lot of aerial and high-flying things, and he's good for that. But if he's legitimately going to hurt himself, it's time for him to hang up his boots. That's what I really think. But all in all, the match, it was what it was. So then we move on to Drew McIntyre. But prior to that U.S. title match, let me just say we had the segment with Michael Chan and Colin Jost coming in with being into the trainer's office, and we had Alexa Bliss come in and tell him she was sorry and blah blah blah, that the other, and said they were in good hands to turn around, and we hauled a Nash there, hey yo, and Nash told him they're going to putting on gloves, tell him they're going to do a prostate exam and stuff like that. I actually thought that was pretty good. That was a good pop and a good way to bring them two in. I thought that was really, really, really a funny segment. So I enjoyed that. That was funny for what it was. So yeah, I should have said that prior to the Joe and Rey match, but kind of looked down from my notes on that one. But anyway, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns is next. And of course, Roman gets the pin here. In my personal opinion, I think that what this was a way for Roman to come back after having the whole thing with leukemia, and it was a way for basically to say that Roman was back, reclaiming his yard, so to speak, because Drew McIntyre said it was his yard now. But my honest opinion here, I think that what should have happened, in my opinion, from my standpoint, if I was booking, I would have booked Drew McIntyre to either win the match by a pinfall, with the Claymore kick or something or another. Let him win cleanly. I would not have booked Roman to win this. I just think that what it was Roman won the match because it was, they tried to make it look like it was his comeback match against Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre, to me, should be the Universal Champion, in honest opinion. And we'll get into that a little later as I close my WrestleMania review. But legitly, like I said, Drew McIntyre winning would have been the better thing here. He's been over. Drew McIntyre, I think, has been putting in work, and it's not really showing for Drew McIntyre. So next segment we get, finally, it's time for the quote-unquote music of the WrestleMania music to come up from Elias. So we get Elias being introduced, and he's playing the drums. Then we get introduced again to Elias, who's playing the piano. Then we get introduced to Elias again, who's in the ring playing on his guitar. Had his own little one-man band going. And I do gotta admit, it was a pretty good segment with doing that. That was really neat how they actually got that together. How they actually put together the whole one-man band thing. The only problem I had was when he was playing the rip on the guitar. It sounded to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that it was a electric guitar that was being played and not the acoustic guitar. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I heard. I heard the electric guitar instead of the acoustic guitar for the actual blues riff that he was trying to play. But then we have the segment, yeah, finally, after telling the fans to shut their mouths and silence their cell phones, all that other stuff, we get the lights go out, and we get a package that plays on the actual Titantron and things and Minitron and stuff. We get talking about Babe Ruth calling his shot. At first, when I first saw this, my first initial reaction was, okay, he's getting interrupted. And my first initial reaction was, this is Pete Rose. We haven't seen Pete Rose in WrestleMania, and I thought that Pete Rose was going to come out and kind of talk to, just kind of give Pete Rose a pop out of nowhere. That was my first initial reaction. But here comes Word Life. This is basic Thugonomics. Here comes John Cena, Thugonomics John Cena. Comes in with the chain, comes in, with the jersey, the New York Yankees jersey. Comes in and gets in the ring and just lets Elias have it with the whole rapping and the whole, just downing him. Kind of reminds me of when John Cena was the Basic Thugonomics and always used to rip on the Big Show, telling him he had some big old baloney tits and stuff like that. I mean, John Cena, when he was Basic Thugonomics, to me, that was John Cena. From the John Cena that we've seen here from 2004 on or whatever, I think, or whatever it was, the regular John Cena is just not it. I think it was a good throwback. I saw an interview with John Cena this morning on social media. He was talking about how, on an exclusive, I guess, backstage WWE exclusive, that John Cena said that, he wasn't planning on being there. He wanted to leave it up to everybody else and let them tell their story. But he thought when he was asked about doing that, he jumped at the opportunity because it had been a long time since he's actually done that, and he was really excited and happy to do that. And I thought that right there was absolutely amazing. The Basic Economics John Cena. I would like to see John Cena come back for another small run and use that gimmick. But if he's going to come back and use the other gimmick that we've come to find out, the whole hustle, loyalty, respect, I just think that it just won't work for me. But I really enjoyed the whole rip on Elias, and thought that the actual segment was brilliant and actually well done. So we move on next to Batista versus Triple H. And may I add, Triple H stole the show with his entrance. Absolutely amazing. I like the whole, it reminded me of the whole Mad Max, if you will, running down the desert, being chased and stuff like that, running down the desert and stuff like that. I mean, that's what I looked at as a whole Mad Max thing. And I thought that Triple H's entrance was good, and Batista's was okay with the whole Secret Service motorcade thing. I thought that was okay, but Triple H to me gets the entrance of the night. I thought that that was well done, and the match itself was really good. Triple H bending Batista's fingers with those pliers or whatever, or those vice grips or whatever they were. I legitimately think that maybe he broke his fingers, perhaps, or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, it was a really good match. Pretty good. Story was well told. The actual spear from the DX crotch chop and the spear through the through one of the announce tables at ringside. I thought that was good. I thought that the actual power bomb on the steps for Batista was good. Ric Flair coming in and giving Triple H the sledgehammer and allowing him to hit Batista in the side of the head on the temple and get the pedigree and get the win. I thought that was a really good way to end it, seeing as Ric Flair was dragged out by Batista a couple weeks ago, building up to this match. And I thought it was good. I thought it really was done. I don't know if that's the end of Batista and Triple H, or if we got one more match with them or not, but I liked the story that was told. I was a little optimistic about going into this because I really thought that that Batista, being out of wrestling for as long as he had and in his Hollywood career, I thought that he would have a little ring rust and it would actually show, but no. And also, may I add that taking those needle nose pliers and pulling out Batista's nose was looking pretty brutal. But all in all, the match was really an excellent match. I thought it was well done, and it finally had a chance for Triple H to beat Batista, And I thought that the match itself, like I said, was really good. Some good pops, really interesting, and it told a good story. So we go to Kurt Angle next versus Baron Corbin. I really did not get this match. The match was pretty good for what it was, but to have Baron Corbin beat Kurt Angle in in this match, basically was a way to like screw it, screw Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle should have legitimately went out with the victory. In honest opinion, people were saying that he should have had a match against Basic Thugonomics John Cena, or he should have had a match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania to have his match go out. But Baron Corbin winning with the end of days, I believe it was. It was okay. I thought it was all right. I understand. I mean, I'm not sure where they're going to go with Baron Corbin or what they're trying to do, but it didn't work for me. I thought that Angle needed to go out on a high note, but I had a interesting tweet that was brought up when we were talking about this on Twitter. Giorgio Mosley, over there in the Wolfpack fam section, ladies and gentlemen, my running wolf, Giorgio. If you have not shown your love to him, please do so. Giorgio says that maybe this is the way Kurt Angle wanted to go out. So if it is, then I'm okay with it. I really am okay with it. But I just felt that the match was kind of a so-called quote unquote mop-up type match. I really didn't get it. It really didn't work for me. So then we have another segment with Alexa Bliss, and Bliss comes out again looking beautiful, does her thing, and then we move on to Lashley and Finn Balor, the Demon Finn Balor. I knew this was going to be a one-sided match. Every time that Finn triggers the Demon, he actually gets like a whole other side of him. And Finn, of course, wins with the coup de grace. I thought this was a good match. I thought it was okay for what it was, and a way for Finn to get that Intercontinental Championship. Would I like to see more of the Demon Finn Balor? Yes. I think the regular Finn Balor is okay, but I think the Demon Finn Balor was good. Who had a good entrance, by the way, but not as good as Triple H's, in my opinion, but had a good entrance. And like I said, the match itself was okay. I thought it was all right. Thought that it was well-deserving that we all knew that once he came out as a Demon, we all knew that Finn Balor was going to win that match. So it was really good for what it was. Then Bliss comes out again, talks about the new record there at MetLife Stadium of 82,265, and then calls for a break. And then we get Carmella and R-Truth come out with the dance break, and as Corey Graves would say, it's a little bit more than 7 seconds, and he was getting tired of seeing it. So, but anyway, nonetheless, we move on to the main event, which is Becky Lynch versus Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey for the winner-take-all match. We got Joan Jett. Shout out to Joan Jett and the Blackhearts doing the Bad Reputation, making Ronda come to the ring. Got Charlotte coming in a helicopter, and Becky just comes out legitimately, just regularly. You know what? The man comes out regularly. The match was good. I thought that Charlotte and Becky taking it to Ronda and kind of taking out Ronda first was really good. Ronda took a lot of bumps, had a lot of bruises on her. You could see some of the bruises on her and some of the welts that was on Charlotte, the little fine welts on Charlotte and stuff like that. I thought that when Charlotte was chopping Ronda's like, "You chop like a bitch." I thought that actually was really, really good. Ronda to me showed a lot of what am I looking for? A lot of better in-ring action than she had during her first couple of months of WWE. Ronda's come a long way as far as her training, as far as what she can do in the ring. Her going up to the top rope, I thought that that right there, or going up to the second rope, whatever it was, I thought that was good. I thought there she done a pretty good pop. A couple other things she tried to do, and I think that Ronda has come along really well. And if she is going to leave now, I really hate to see her leave, and I really hope that she does come back at some point in WWE and we see her again. I really enjoyed Ronda and what she's done over the past year in WWE. So we go back and forth and back and forth. Like I said, a lot of good pops in that match, and Becky legitly wins with a count to the Piper's Pit, rolls up Ronda, or not rolls up Ronda, but kind of gets Ronda like there for the pin. And I don't know, Ronda looked dumbfounded, like that wasn't supposed to be the finish, or like she was really upset at that. A lot of people were talking on Twitter about that they didn't know if that was the way the finish was supposed to go, or if she was supposed, or because a lot of people were saying that the finish that they heard the finish was supposed to go, that Charlotte was tapped out by Becky for the disarm her. And I don't know if that was actually just Vince saying, okay, look, we're running over a little bit too much, let's just go ahead and count to 3 and end it that way. So regardless of the way it is, the match was okay. I thought it was really well put together. I thought all women did really good. It was a good way to end the night with Becky holding up both championships, and it was really good. So let's take a closing moments here of this WrestleMania review, WrestleMania 35 review. I thought the entire card itself, when I went into this match thinking it's going to be over 8 hours long, I thought, man, I don't know if I can sit through this. Something's going to be bad. But honestly, I thought this was the greatest show that WWE has put on in quite some time. I thought it was all the segments, all the matches, everything was definitely well written. I thought that they entertained us really well for those that did stick around for that 8.5 hours like me. And I really enjoyed the actual entire show. What going forward, I think that Becky probably will go to Raw. I hope that they don't unify the championships. I hope that they give her an opportunity tonight on Raw to pick who she which brand she actually wants to go with. I'd like to see her go to Raw. I'd like to see her match up against those like Sasha and Bayley. I'd like to see her match up against Nia and Tamina, and I'd like to see her match up against a lot of women for the championship. And and I hope that they don't allow her to unify the championship. Maybe give a battle royal, or maybe do a Money in the Bank ladder match, women's Money in the Bank ladder match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That would be nice. I see the Revival getting the championships back tonight, as I said in the first part of this, and I see a lot of things going forward. But as far as Drew McIntyre goes, we'll close with a second with Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre needs to be the next feud for Seth Rollins. I think he needs to get that Universal Championship from Seth Rollins, and then later on have Roman win it from Drew McIntyre. That's what I think needs to happen. Drew McIntyre needs to run as the Universal Champion. I think the man's paid his dues. I think the man is a great in-ring performer. Showing what he's learned his time away from WWE, and working there in the indie circuit, and then coming back to NXT and working his way up to WWE roster. I think he's shown a lot. I think he's paid a lot of dues. I think that Drew McIntyre really needs to get a small, if not a pretty decent Universal Championship run. That's just my personal opinion. But all in all, not bad. Like I said, I really enjoyed WrestleMania. I really thought it was good. I'm looking forward to Raw and SmackDown this week, and hoping that we get some pretty good shows today, or this week rather, with Raw and SmackDown. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all watching or listening and sticking in through these entire 2 parts of these Hollywood podcasts. We'll be back at the next Hollywood podcast. Of course, we'll have the bestie back probably, and we'll be talking about other things and whatnot. But I appreciate you watching. This has been the Wolfman Lewis. Thank you. Ow! I am out.